Hello, this is David bringing you another review. My goal for this series of in-depth reviews is to provide like an honest opinion, giving the full pros and cons on a yo-yo in order to better inform your purchase. And I'll be reviewing the Turning Point Hinemosu. So this is like a very high-end, it's Turning Point competition geared yo-yo, I believe. The specs are 66.7 grams. 56 millimeter diameter, 42.4 millimeter width, and it has a 6061 aluminum body with titanium rims. Now, to start off, this is the presentation and like the extras. It comes in a very simple package. Just Turning Point bag. Let's see. There's a logo, and that's literally it. And the bearing, one of these came with just like a default concave, the other a center track, and I think that's kind of disappointing considering the price point on these yo-yos. But I don't think that should detract too much, because you're ultimately that stuff's not a big deal when you're already willing to spend this much on a yo-yo. But it definitely would be nice to get like an NSK bearing or like extra pads or like a cool box or something, considering what you're paying. Okay, so the question is it worth it? This yo-yo retailed at $210 on Yo-Yo Expert and Turning Point Direct, and $230 on Rewind, which is quite a hefty price tag, though that does seem to be like not so far above what other titanium ring bimetals have costed. And honestly, I think it's worth it, and I really like this yo-yo. And I didn't really think the Mustang was worth it. But this is like what I wanted the Mustang to be. This is the ultimate tech yo-yo. Going into the design of it, 56 millimeter diameter is like pretty much the average, but I think it's like as big as you can go for a tech player and get like that increased performance from the diameter, but not have it be so large that like affects your ability to like weave between string formations and do like chopsticks and stuff like that. The width, I think the width is definitely going to be too narrow for certain people, like 42 and something width in millimeters. But I think that's a good thing as well for tech. It also helps horizontal, but this yo-yo is not great at horizontal due to its weight. It weighs like almost 67 grams, I believe. And I think the weight, like normally Turning Point is like good at like hiding weight, but no, this yo-yo plays, if anything, above its weight. But that's actually not a bad thing. This yo-yo is heavy on the string and extremely stable. And despite this, despite like what I just said, has a surprising agility. And this is due to the fact that these titanium rings allow the rim weight to be spread out further. It's like spread over a greater area. So like you have like this inner part of the ring more, right? Like this isn't quite center weight, it's like still rim weight, but bringing it in somewhat gives you better agility, which is vastly helpful for just maneuvering through a dense tech, like Takeshi type of tricks. Yeah, I'm gonna do a comparison with the Mustang right now. Have it right here. These are on paper very similar yo-yos, like spec wise, and like full titanium versus titanium rings. And despite this, I mean, there are similarities, like even like they look so similar, right? Like similar cuts on the body, similar cuts in the cup, same specs basically. But these are very different yo-yos. The Hinemosu versus the Mustang. The Mustang is like very, you can watch my Mustang review, very light on the string, and it can be pushed faster, but I wouldn't say it. Neither of them are good for speed play. They're both meant for tech, but the Hinemosu packs significantly more power. And the Mustang's not a very powerful yo-yo, so compared to what you would expect for like something so technically oriented. And meanwhile, the Hinemosu is barely sacrificing in agility versus how stable it is. And honestly, I think the Hinemosu is the the ultimate like stability yo-yo. Like this is as much as any yo-yo I've played has had like a power and like RPM spin time, because I would expect it to be like 68 grams if I just tried it without looking at the specs. And despite that, you will never your maneuverability through like layered mounts and stuff will never suffer. Also, touch on what I think of this yo-yo for a 5A and 3A right now before I go on to the technical section. Now, I'm not as good at either of these styles as I am 1A, especially 3A. I'm not great, but I think this yo-yo is pretty solid at both of them. For 3A, the issue is this yo-yo has I don't know about the gap width, but like it plays like extra unresponsively compared to like what you might want from 3A. And like I think it plays very well with thick string. Like I've been using original throw fat because I've just been really enjoying that string lately, but I think you could use thicker string, which I guess it makes sense because meant for like, I guess it's meant for a slack player. But besides that, I think like the amount of power and like the somewhat narrow diameter you get is in like the ability to stay in plane, and it's like it's a good speed for 3A. So I think give that a shot, though I can't judge for sure since I'm no like 3A expert. And for 5A, I mean, I feel like your yo-yo choice is like not as important for 5A as it is for other styles. But like this will definitely get the job done. It's a little expensive to be tossing around. I'd be scared of a ring dislodgement, but it has the shape, the comfort on a catch, and I guess the rim weight and power you probably want for 5A. Though if you're more of like a speedy player, this is definitely not for you. Okay, now for the on the string portion of this review. So my play is gonna suffer significantly since I'm not used to doing all these tricks and talking. So basically, I think like I got two. This is gonna be I'm gonna get third. This is gonna be my go-to competition throw, I think, because I want to push more into like technical style play, like get better at slacks and stuff. And this is just, I think, the ultimate throw for that at the moment. And it definitely makes sense for this to be like the culmination of all these different designs, like all these Takeshi signatures from Turning Point, where they have like similar weight, diameter, and width. This is the ultimate, where they managed to achieve this nimble play for this nimble play while cranking the stability way more than I played Mustang, Palpitation, and St. Elmo, and this is way more stable than all of them. Well, I would say not being so significantly less agile to the point where like it's not worth that trade-off. Like the increased stability is very significant. Now, even though this is like the ultimate in tech, basically, it does suffer being such a heavy-weighted yo-yo, and there are reasons people are like so hesitant about bimetals above 65 grams or so. And I think these issues are reduced due to the tie ring design, giving you a more maneuverable yo-yo. But if you're someone who like this yo-yo could be pushed to decent speed. I don't really do speed combos, but like to the point where it'll never slow down your tech with its speed, right? But if you're doing like straight up like speed rails and speed rail combos, stuff like that, this will definitely be something to slow you down. It's definitely not suited for that at all in terms of competition. In addition, I find this yo-yo pretty poor for horizontal, considering its shape and like rim weight and all that. It's like normally that kind of thing would be pretty good horizontal. I'm not a great horizontal player or anything, but yeah, talking at the same time, it's pretty hard. But I definitely find it much harder to deal with such a heavy yo-yo trying to do horizontal combos. But in addition, the narrow diameter you're trying to do, I mean, not in diameter or width, if you're trying to do like those big like body, like arm, neck catches behind the back, whatever, like almost like off string influence stuff, you know, this is not great for that either. But I think for like your just plain old front of the body tech yo-yo play, it straight up does not get better than this, and I would strongly recommend it. And if you watched this whole review, thank you. There will be more on the way. The only thing I ask is just check out my Instagram, which I put in the description. Yep.